Okay, so we're going to talk about a fill pattern, and this is another technique to control the way we want patterns to occur. I'm using SOLIDWORKS 2015. You may have a different interface if you're using a later version, but the concepts and workflow are the same. Okay, so I have created a seed feature, basically a hole in my plate. And I've gone in, I've created another sketch. And we're going to use that sketch as a control for how we fill this region here that the sketch is bounding. So basically I'm going to take this hole here and we're going to pattern it and fill up into this region, this circle. Now I could change the sketch to be a rectangular or whatever shape I want, and it's just going to fill that region with my pattern. So we're going to go to a linear pattern. We're going to drill down and go to fill pattern. First thing it's asked me is for a fill boundary. So we're using that sketch as a control to where these holes are going to go up to. And we have several different layouts. To get a preview, I need to click down here into pattern direction, and we need to pick an edge in order to get a direction going. And we can start controlling the instance spacing. So if I wanted to go 0.5 inches and I wanted to set the angle, I could do that. Now, most importantly, I need to select the feature of the pattern. So this is this collector for the feature, and I'm going to select the actual hole, the hole feature. So if I go in there and I select the hole feature, and you can see it's starting to put a pattern in there. And I can readjust the types of patterns I want. I could do a circular pattern, more of a linear pattern. And again, it's going to try to bound right where this sketch is. So it can't, in this case, it can't put another hole in here because it's going to reach across this boundary. And I can set the boundary to how close I want it, the margins. In this case, I'm saying go as close as you can to the edge. So I can set up all these different patterns and fill patterns. So if I wanted some venting on my Arduino enclosure, I could set up some sort of pattern here and control that the way I wanted. If I could control the density, that's a little too dense, but I could set the density and control that. We still have instances to skip, so I could go in and say, well, I want to get rid of a couple of these here and set these, basically turn these off and on, all this pattern. So if there's a certain pattern I wanted, I could set that. So again, I have these controls for circular, square, rectangular. If I do square, it's going to try to fill it in more a square shape. And I can set instance spacing controls and so on and so forth. Now, I could, notice I had this hole initially. I could create a seed cut. So basically this is saying we could create a feature on the fly. I generally like to create the feature first. I feel like I'm more control of it, but you could do a seed cut and create a feature on the fly. So either a hole or a rectangular or other shape, an n-gon, polygon, I should say. So that's the idea behind pattern fill. So we're filling a boundary set by a sketch. If I were to edit my sketch now, that's going to parametrically update. So if we had a 2-inch diameter region that the sketch represents, basically the whole pattern is going to adjust, and it's not going to spill outside of that region that I created. And notice that my pattern changes because that region is not letting that pattern propagate how it was. You know, it was a little bit different shape. So if I made that region even bigger, so like 3 inches, that might actually take me almost off the plate, but we get our pattern comes back. So again, fill pattern, I can control the density and everything like that. So basically I've showed you the pattern ones that are most popular, the linear pattern, circular pattern, and this region fill pattern. And hopefully this gets you going on patterning. All right, thanks a lot.